The AK-47 is one of the most reliable weapons ever made, but it's also got a wooden buttstock, which is great because that way when you bust somebody's head open with it, they don't have to worry about microplastics. In the last couple of videos, we made the iron sight, the railguard, the barrel, the magazine, and today we're going to make the wooden parts, which is going to be the buttstock and the hand grip. So we start from side view. We're going to click right here, Shift A, give me a plane. We're going to align that with our view, and then we're going to take the vertices from the side of that plane. We're going to start extruding them. I want to have 6 edges down here at the bottom, so that gives me 6 edges. Of course, they look all jagged and fucked up, so we're going to have to reorganize this a little bit to make it look a little bit nicer and smoother. So I'm going to delete this edge back here, so now I got 6 at the bottom, W loop tools space, W loop tools relax, and then I want to have the same thing at the top, so extrude once, 2 times. Well, I'm going to cut straight through this corner here because I'm going to subdivide this, and then this is the vertex I'm going to use for this bit. So that's 3 edges and then 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and once we got the right shape here, now we can start filling this in with some quads. So let's do something like this. I want a knife cut from this point all the way to the back like this, and then I can add a loop cut like this and lift it up just a little bit. That's going to give me this little corner. Maybe I'll push this backwards a little bit further, and now let's keep moving. First, I want more geometry here, but I want everything to consist of little squares. So I'm going to add 2 loop cuts here, 1 here and another 2 here. As you can see now, if we just redistribute this a little bit better, it's going to turn into nice little squares. So the way we do that is we take these edges right here. You can just take one, go to select loops, edge rings, W loop tools space, maybe W loop tools relax too. And then we also need to have more geometry in the back. So give me 1, 2, 3 loop cuts like this. First of all, we want to bring this one nice and close, so we have a little square up here at the top. Well, it's not a square, but you understand what I'm trying to say. And then the same thing, select one loop, select loops, edge rings, W loop tool space. Probably should have included this as well. And there we go. Now we got the basic shape. Maybe you want to make some changes back here, like push this vertex backwards just to make this a little bit curved, so it can fit your shoulder so that when you shoot somebody it's more comfortable. And then once we got that, then we take this, we extrude it, we give it some thickness. Let's not worry about how thick it is for now, we're going to get to that later. Well, actually we do have to worry about how thick it is because we have to invert our selection, delete the faces on the inside, make sure that the origin point is in the middle around here somewhere. My shortcut for that is Control Shift Alt C, but for you it's probably Object Set Origin to 3D Cursor. You can set that to whatever you want, and then add modifier, generate, give me a mirror modifier. So now once we got that, we can apply the mirror modifier. We can get rid of this geometry at the top here, delete the faces in the front and the back just for now, because I want to take this I to inset B to disable boundary, and now we got this extra supporting geometry here so that when we add our subdivision surface modifier, you can see what that looks like. Maybe I'll add my cursor over here, select this face and scale that with Shift X just to push that inwards a little bit more. That's going to make this back part just a little bit softer. So now the last thing we want to pay attention to on this buttstock is the fact that in the back, you see we got this oval shape right here, but in the front it's like a square. So check this out, let me show you this picture. The shape here is completely different, so we got to make sure we get that right. Over here it's already taken care of in the front, but in the back we got to make it circular. So here's how we're going to do it. Let's start with a loop cut at the top and the bottom. Then let's take these vertices, we're going to slide them down a little bit. The ones from the bottom we're going to slide up just a little bit, and then we take these edges in the middle here, we're going to scale them up on the x-axis, take the vertices in the middle and scale them up further, and just play around with this shape a little bit until it looks like a fucking oval. You understand how this is supposed to work. So there you go. I guess that's more or less the shape we're going for. And now we have to take care of the transition here, because now we just have this circle in the back and the surface around it is all fucked up. That doesn't look good at all. So we're going to make the transition from square to circle gradual. Here's how you're going to do that. You see, the problem now is that we have this straight line here, and then in the end it just jumps. We want to turn that into a straight line so it goes straight from this vertex to this one back here. To do that, you select this edge segment and you go W loop tools G stretch. First of all, you set that to spread, and then we're also going to lock the Z axis because we don't want to change the Z axis position. We just want this to go outwards so we can get a straight line here, and we're going to do the same thing for all the other edge segments here. If you guys want to know a little bit more about how the loop tools here work and why I'm doing these things and what the difference between spread evenly and all that shit is, I don't really want to get into that in this video because then the video will be 7 hours long, and I'm not sure that you guys care about that. But that's why I got my Blender Pro Tips ebook in there. I explained every single tool and technique which I ever use for 3D modeling in Blender. I went deep on the mechanics so you guys can understand how this shit works at a deeper level. So if you want to check that out, if you want to learn a little bit more about Blender, there's a link for that in the description. Anyway, let's keep fixing up this shape a little bit more. Basically, I'm just going to be using my G-stretch tool here. For some reason, when you use multiple segments at the same time on the G-stretch tool, it tends to fail. So unfortunately, you're better off just doing one at a time. And there we go. Once we got the last one out of the way, that looks looks pretty cute, doesn't it? So the shape is now pretty smooth. You can check it without the subdivision surface modifier. You can see it's flowing pretty nicely. And there we go. Now we just got to fill in the back. I'm going to do that by filling in this with a couple of quads, and then adding a loop cut here so I can slide this inwards, fill this with another quad, and same thing down here at the bottom. I think that's probably the best and easiest way to do it. And of course, we're going to have to add another loop cut here for supporting geometry, but we don't want to bring that too close because we still want this to be quite round. If you look at the reference image here, you can see the corner is pretty round, just for additional comfort. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, you also got this little shape cut out in the front. So if you really want to do that, you could first duplicate this object so you have a backup, because we're about to apply the subdivision surface modifier. Maybe not 2 levels, give me 1 level. And then we want to use some geometry from the front here to create that shape. So we'll do something like this. We take these 4 faces, we inset them, we turn them into a circle with our loop tools, and then we get rid of this section over here in the front. We delete the faces there, and since this is all a straight flat surface, we can just go back here, place our cursor there, take this segment, you can extrude that and scale it to 0 with Shift X to bring it here, add some loop cuts so we can connect that, and then just take these faces here, you're going to extrude them inwards a little bit, and there you go. Now we have that little shape there. Maybe you also want to extrude this thing in the front here, but I'm not going to do that because you're not going to be able to see that part anyway. And now it's time to move on to the handguard, so let's do that next. To make the handguard, I'm also going to start with a plane, align it with my view, scale it up a little, subdivide it 2 times, and then subdivision surface modifier, and now I just have to reshape this according to the shape I can see in the reference image. So this part down here is pretty curvy, so let's start by just adjusting the position of some of these vertices. I'm thinking I'll just slide these here together because I don't need that many vertices down here. And here we go. Now we got the base. Over here in the front we have this little bump of some sort, so maybe we're just gonna have to extrude something, but let's see what happens if we push these vertices to the front. It seems to work quite well, so I don't think we're gonna have to extrude anything. I was thinking maybe we extrude something like this to create an extra bump, but I think we'll be okay. Now we use this geometry here to create the part up on top, so W loop tool space, that means we gotta do the same thing down here, so loop tool space, that's just to make sure that everything flows properly. I'm gonna push this backwards a little bit more to make it look a little bit nicer and cleaner, so loop tool space on these 3 as well, and there we go. That's already starting to look pretty nice. And now we extrude this, we bring it up here, then we just have to create this shape. So we extrude this once, we move this one up a little bit more, we extrude it 1 more time until here, and then again we bring it up to the top, which is gonna allow us to create this little curve in the back here. I extrude a vertex here for now because that's gonna sharpen this corner so I get a better idea of what that looks like. So I think the shape turned out pretty good. Then we have to do this thing here in the front. Now notice this shape is pretty round. You can imagine that if you hold this, it's not supposed to be sharp in the front here. You can imagine there's a semicircle. If you make this into a cross section, the front is going to be pretty round, obviously, to make it comfortable to hold. But this part up here has to get a little bit wider. The shape here is a little bit different. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: if the bottom in the front looks something like this, so it's all nice and round, as you can see right here, that looks pretty good. The top is not going to be so nice and round. So in the top, we're going to have to do something a little bit different. Now hold on, let me take this thing and let's give it some thickness using the mirror modifier. So I'll just move this out to the side. I'll take the edges from the inside, I'll extrude that and bring it to the middle, and then I can add my mirror modifier, which I'm going to place above my subdivision surface modifier, and now we can see things clear. So now it doesn't really get any wider, it's just that this part here becomes a little bit flat. So check this out, we extrude this 1 more time, we put it down here nice and low, then we extrude it 1 more time like this, and this part is supposed to start moving inwards. So we're supposed to take these edges from the bottom, I think we have to push them inwards like this, maybe 1 more like this, and maybe this is pushed inwards a little bit as well. By the way, of course, we also need more loop cuts here, and we're also supposed to fill this part on the inside. And then up here at the top, we have to make this a little bit more round. I don't know if this is gonna work, guys. I'm just trying to figure it out for myself still. Maybe it's gonna look like shit. Maybe we have to do something differently. Maybe we should have started by filling in this area over here first. So give me 2 loop cuts, fill this as well, then extrude this out, 2 more faces here. Maybe we turn this thing into a little triangle, and then later we add a loop cut here, which might be a little bit tricky because then we have to slide this inwards. We have to make everything nice and round. Let's extrude this to the front, add a loop cut, fill this here with quads. Okay, so I figured it out. I don't know why I didn't do this before. I got a picture here from Google, so I just typed in AK-47 hand grip and I started digging. I'm overcomplicating this shit, so all we're supposed to do is this. I'm gonna get rid of this entire little section, delete all that. Use this geometry here to extrude this part. So extrude once, twice, 3 times. We're gonna make a little corner here and then extrude it up to the top like this. And then, well, we just have to fill in the geometry in the middle here. That's a little shitty. We can probably do better than that. Give me a quad here, fill this part here, and now all we're gonna have to do is make some sort of a cutout here in the front where where we're going to fit the trigger. So look at this part here. We're supposed to just make a cut in the front part. We're going to do that later. For now, we just have to straighten this out. So I'm thinking we can just lift up some of the vertices here. As long as the front and the back are in place, all I have to do now is pull a knife cut, which cuts straight through this shape and connects these two vertices. Delete all the faces above that knife cut, and there we go. Now we just gotta fill in the inside. So we take the geometry from the side here, we extrude that inwards, take the top surface, inset without the boundary, maybe add an extra loop cut here, and that's all we gotta do. Then we got this little metal ring at the top, but I think we can just do that using the geometry we got here. Maybe before we do that, we just want to make some parts here a little bit more round. So maybe we take this geometry and we slide it back and forth to get a curved shape here. Probably we also want this to be a little bit softer, so we're going to slide that back and forth a little bit. We want something like this, and I guess that should do it. Now we take this, we separate it, add a loop cut in the middle, delete everything else, and just extrude that up, and I guess that'll do the trick. Okay, so we got the shape down, that's all good. We also got the buttstock. Let's move on to the texturing, because that's the part that everybody's here for. At least I think that's the case. If I'm wrong, tell me. I don't know if you guys are more interested in the modeling or the texturing or whatever. So let's start talking about how we're going to texture this. The first thing we're going to have to do is get a wood texture. You're going to hit Google, you're going to type in ambientcg.com. This is where you got a bunch of free textures. Let's just search for wood. So we type in wood and we look for something that looks like the buttstock on the AK-47. Whatever, let's go with this one right here. We can always change it later if it doesn't turn out good. We're going to download, let's go with 2K PNG. You can get the higher one if you want to, whatever, it's up to you. And then once you download it, you're going to get a zip file. Just pick out the ones you want. You got two types of normal maps. You want GL and Blender. So select normal, select roughness, select color. Don't think I need anything else. Control C. I just made a new folder which I called AK Wood. I'm going to paste that in there. And now in Blender, here's what you do. You're going to take the buttstock, duplicate it because we're about to apply the subdivision surface modifier. By the way, it looks like we're supposed to make this a little bit thicker, but whatever, I'll fix that later. Either get rid of or apply the subdivision surface modifier because this isn't going to work too well if you got an active one. We're going to switch over to the shading tab, add a new material, Shift A image texture node. First, we're going to generate a new image, which is going to be the UV grid. We're going to plug that into base color. And now we have to UV unwrap this. So I made a UV unwrapping video a long time ago. I don't feel like searching for it to put in this video, but if you just type in Aryan 3D UV unwrapping, you're going to find it. But we're going to select this edge segment in the back, Control E, mark seam there. And then I'm also going to select an edge segment at the bottom here, Control E, mark seam. I don't want this at the top to be marked as seams because that's going to give us a visible seam. So we're going to deselect that, or rather we're going to clear the seams there. And over here I also don't want this marked as a seam in the front. Rather I just want to select an edge loop around the front face, and then I'm going to unwrap that separately. Also an edge segment around here is going to be marked as a seam. And then let's try you unwrap. You check the pattern here, you check if there's any stretching, distortion. If it looks all fucked up, you can see where the seams are. This is where it's not going to look great. So at the bottom you can clearly see there's a separation in the image, but overall it's not too bad. Now we can replace this with the actual wooden texture. So this is the folder where we got it. We're going to drop color in there, we're going to drop normal in there and the roughness, and now we just plug it up. So color into color, we can get rid of this. We set the roughness here to non-color. We're going to plug that into roughness, and the normal map we set to non-color. We're also going to run that through a normal map node. Plug that up, you plug it into normal, and there you go. Now at the moment it looks like shit because we still have to work on the mapping and the projection. So first select the color node, press Control T. If that doesn't do anything, you got to go to the edit preferences, add-ons. You got to activate the node wrangler and just plug this node wrangler into all the other image texture nodes here. And now we can do some rotation. So for example, we can rotate this on the z-axis by 90 degrees so it's mapped a little bit better. We can also edit some of these textures. So for example, I want my thing in the back to be a little bit more shiny, so I'll add a brightness contrast node between the roughness map and the principal node and just reduce the brightness a little bit. That's going to make the roughness map darker. Darker means low roughness, which means it's going to be a little bit more shiny. Also, we can adjust the colors with a hue saturation value node. Now just keep in mind that a big part of the color here is because of the HDRI, so maybe I'll change to a different HDRI. I think this one looks a little bit better. But anyway, we can change the hue to something else. We can change this to maybe 0.48 or something like that. Let's see what happens. It becomes a little bit more red. We can increase or decrease the saturation if we want to. We can decrease the brightness a little bit. And there you go. That's a very simple way to texture your buttstock just quickly. You can make this way better. You can make some more damage. You can make it look a little bit nicer because this doesn't look too good. The scratches here aren't too realistic, but I don't want to make this a full texturing video, so if you guys want, I can make another one. So we do the same thing down here for the handguard, and as you can see, that comes out pretty good. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys in this video. That's what we got for the AK so far. I was doing the receiver here on a live stream, but I'm thinking maybe I'll make a proper tutorial for it. So also let me know if you guys want to see that. that, make sure you check out my Blender Pro Tips ebook. It's going to teach you all about all the tools and techniques which I'm using here, so it's going to make it easier for you to model these kind of objects. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see next. Like the video, subscribe to the fucking channel, and I'll see you in the next one.